a hero maximum. On the ground, down the ground, another hero maximum.
Welcome back to the Maximum Cricket Podcast. This is episode number 71. I'm with Lugsy and I'm with Jacko as always, and welcome to World Cup week. We are just one day away from the opening game between England and New Zealand. This week's episode is going to be your one-stop shop, all things betting in the World Cup. Most runs, most wickets, winners, finalists, semi-finalists, and everything in between. Like, will there be a hat-trick in the World Cup? Tune in to find out what we think later on. But first of all, we want to talk about playing kits, but we want to do a wee quick fire power rankings where we want to rank all the playing kits 1 to 10. Lugsy, Jacko, two things. How excited for the World Cup are we? And what makes a good kit for you?
Yeah, obviously very excited. I think, one-day cricket has its real moment once every 4 years. We've sort of debated in length its sort of validity, but when a World Cup comes around, you can't beat how good this format is, especially for tournament cricket. So, look, I'm fizzing. I can't believe we've got England, New Zealand already. Come around very quick and very excited. And then kit-wise, I think you've got to have a couple of key things. I think you've got to get the collar right, and that's a big one for me. You've got to get the colour, and you've obviously got to add some sort of either throwback or something like new design that's really good. So either you're harping back on something historical that's worked really well, or you bring something new to the table. Bringing something new comes with that risk, but those are the big three for me.
Yeah, firstly, before I discuss the fashion of cricket kit, just on the World Cup, absolutely fizzing. As Jacko said, this is, I think, still for most people, winning the World Cup is what you want your team to do. Winning the ODI World Cup's the pinnacle still. That may change over time as the Test World Championship gains a bit more steam in that, but for right now, I still think it's number one on every cricket fan's list. As it comes to the fashion, it's hard to put a finger on sometimes what makes a kit, but you know it when you see it. You're like, that is a good kit. And it can be different things for different teams. Some like in New Zealand, we do a nice crisp sort of a kit, and I like that. Some teams might go a bit out the gate, a bit wild, and you go, oh, that suits them. Some of those West Indian kits from yesteryear, pretty exceptional, some bold choices. Sometimes you can't exactly put your finger on it, but you know when you see it. What I'd love one of the minnows to do is really just go quite bold and sort of go like quite trendy, just sort of as fashion changes over time, they change with it, sort of running a bit of a, baggy sort of kit at the moment, a bit of a box fit sort of set up. And as fashion changes, they just go with it and they become that side, just the trendy side at the World Cup.
Just like
I think the skinny jeans would have been that poor at the 2011 World Cup.
Yeah, but how good would that look at the time?
We drop crotch Zespi.
Yeah. This is an avenue. Yeah, it's an avenue for one team to go into.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Don't hate it at all. I think the only point I had around what makes a good kit is you are limited a little bit to what your national colours are. I think like being New Zealand, we've all black and white, very crisp all the time. Whereas like a Bangladesh, green and red, for instance, I think you're sort of hamstrung a little bit from the start. But I want to go further a bit. I think it's not just the main colour. I think it's very important what you do with your trim colour, like with the white for New Zealand, or with maybe the red for Bangladesh, for example. And I think it's quite a fine line between too much use of it and not enough. And I don't know what that line is, but like Lugsy said, you know it when you see it. So with all that being said, I've got here sort of my top 10 power rankings, and I thought we could just sort of discuss it. We'll start from the bottom and work our way up. At number 10, and this is somewhere where this country is not used to being, kit-wise, and most certainly not playing-wise. They've had some really good kits over the years, your 99s, for instance, really stands out. But this Australia kit is one of the all-time worst kits. It is, of all the things you could do with gold, canary, it's just so basic, and like to have like the bit of green under the armpit is just it's something from the warehouse. I just want to put it out there, not to ruin a potential sponsorship, but it's I just expected it a lot better from one of the powerhouses.
Yeah, and look. I was going to bring this up when you're talking the trim color. I think Aussie peaked when they flipped the script and went the dark green with the gold accent. That was their sort of peak one day kit for me. I used to just love that strip. So um, if you flip it on its head, you can produce great results. But yeah, they sort of haven't gone gold. They haven't gone canary. They've gone in between, and um, sort of it's almost there. I think there's been some good Aussie kits that look quite similar to this one, but it's just missing the mark a wee bit for me. So happy with it down there. I probably wouldn't have it at 10, but I'll talk about my 10 later.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you've put it there, Munter, because I wasn't happy with it. I preferred Aussie to go. I like when they go bold. We talked about that T20 kit a bit. I don't mind that from Aussie. They're a big nation, and they need to just peacock their way a wee bit through this World Cup and just go to bright choices. I would have preferred that one. This is just not on. It's too boring for it. Yeah, how do you make yellow boring? I don't know how they've done that, but they've found a way. So
yeah, it's poor.
No, I'm happy to have it low on the list.
Yeah. So with my number 9, I sort of touched on them a bit earlier. A little bit hamstrung by their colours. Bangladesh at 9. Look, they've tried their best with the sort of the green, and they've got a bit of red trim around the shoulders and around the midriff, and there's a little bit in there, but it's just a bit boring for me. Like red trim is a tough look. It's a tough to pull off, and they're not achieving that for mine. Bangladesh at 9. Where'd you have that? Where'd you have Bangers at?
Yeah, I probably didn't. I had them in the bottom half. Yet to name my bottom team yet. So
okay, it's coming.
They're probably 8 or 9 for them. But yeah, I mean, Bangers have that option. They should go something right. They should go orange and black, like embrace the tiger or something. Like really make a statement at this sort of World Cup. Like copy the Bengals, do something really sort of out of the gate. But yeah, as you said, they just don't quite have colours that work. So they're always going to be on the back foot, and they haven't got forward to the full one on this one.
Yeah, I like what you said there, Jacko. Why not just whack a massive tiger on the kit and see what happens? They are hamstrung some pretty grim colours, unfortunately. I don't mind this kit, to be honest. Full disclosure, I simply couldn't rank my top 10 because I had so many like grouped together as like I just had a list called do I rate or am I irate? And I couldn't work out if I rated half these kits or was I irate with them. So there's a lot that it's been changing for me daily. So yeah, I don't hate this Bangladesh kit, but I do in general dislike their colours. So they're never going to be a huge winner in my eyes.
Number 8, I've got someone that should be higher with the colours because they've got exceptional colours and they always have great kits in the past. And that's Sri Lanka. They had one of the great kits at the 2019 World Cup. And I just feel like they mailed it in. You know, it's just a straight up blue, little bit of yellow trim. And I just feel like they could just do a little bit more with that yellow. I think the general theme is we want a bit of boldness. That's what we're looking for. And just not getting it with Sri Lanka. Just a little bit boring for mine.
Yeah, and I think Sri Lanka highlights have the opposite problem of Bangladesh, don't they? Like their colours go so well together. Blue, gold, like that sort of their wee third orangey red. Like their colours have always gone well. Their kit's always been crisp. So as you said, like, you know, you've been your LeBron Jameses, your Zions, like you've got heaps of tools, but you're mailing it in and having 8 bottles of fizzy a day with this sort of setup. So yeah, it needs to be better when you've dealt a good hand, you've got to go all in.
Yeah, I mean, Bangladesh is probably tried their best with their colours to get where they can, and Sri Lanka's sort of done their worst with theirs. Just a bit plain, yeah. We're working with some beautiful colours. They're known, especially from this part of the world, blue and gold go together beautifully. So yeah, I agree. Could have done a bit better with that.
Another side that I think has really good colours and have had phenomenal kits over the years, and just it isn't the best option for them. But England, the England kit is clean-ish, but I just feel like I was expecting a lot more from an English side. I really was.
Yeah, I mean, I've got it dead last. Not happy. Just it looks like a warm-up top. It's I mean, some of the stuff England's brought to the table kit-wise with the red and the blue and the white has been exceptional over the years. But yeah, to sort of bring just what looks like a training top, show up on kit day and you pull 4 out, 2 long sleeve, 2 short sleeve of this. So yeah, they've designed it well for a training top, not for your World Cup top. That's my view.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that opinion, Jacko, because I thought this was going to be high on your guys' rankings. And yeah, I have gone back and forth on it occasionally. Occasionally I look at it and I go, is that crispy enough? And
I looked at it 2 minutes ago actually and thought maybe that is enough, but nah.
It's quite busy. There's a bit going on. Like there's a lot of sort of different sort of twists and turns with it, but it's not for me. I didn't like it the first time I saw it, and I'm going to stick with that. I tell you what, a lot of this has to do with who you see it on, though. That's a huge component of it.
Yeah, it looks good on Stokes. Looks good on Stokes. A few tats. On 100.
Yeah. It's funny. Alex Hales would look particularly crisp in it, just slightly tall, tan, few tats, but he'd probably not at the World Cup, so it's a dodgy kit.
It's funny, we're a bit harsh on these kits because we've just ridiculed Sri Lanka being Australia, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka for being a little plain, and then England's just a little bit too busy. So there is a fine line. You got to have a little bit of but not too much.
As a co-worker of mine always says, like, you don't apologise for being a hypocrite. The world's busy. There's a lot going on. You're going to contradict yourself at times, aren't you?
That's brilliant.
With that, I'll move on to my number 6, which is South Africa, which I did have lower until I actually saw it last night, and they've actually saved it with that wee flag, those flag colours just along the chest. It's just like South Africa have had some really good kits over the years. Like when we were rewatching that 2015 World Cup, that South African kit with the yellow arms is all time. They've had, I quite like when they had the yellow tops, green pants sort of thing, and it's sort of like blended into each other. There's a bit in that. Like this isn't one of their better kits, but it's still up there. And that's why I've got it at 6.
Yeah, it's the same as Sri Lanka, isn't it? It's a blessing of good colours, and they've come close to getting it right with that little bit of flag across the top of the chest. So, I mean, not going to sit top, but it's not going to make anyone upset, is it?
Yeah, I didn't know last night when you sent the message through Munter about changing the rankings if it had made you think higher or lower. Because I think it can go either way. It's not my favourite kit, but you are right. It's the flag just adds a little something to it, a little bit of niceness.
Something different.
We haven't talked about this. It's a bit different, and it's just nice to see the flag on there. I think it sort of gives a bit of we're in this together sort of a vibe to it. It makes you feel kind of good about it. So that's always nice. Where are we at on sort of your long sleeve versus your short sleeve? Because I'm a huge long sleeve guy.
Yeah, it depends on your role.
Yeah, well, that's true. I'm a better spinner, so like batting in a long sleeve, you just unless you've got massive guns.
It's all pipe related and roll related, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And with that, we'll move into the top 5. And these are all kits that I do like, just different degrees.
It's about time.
Yeah. Some kits that are a little bit this is a kit that could be seen as really high or really low, depending on what you like. But for me, I think Netherlands have nailed it. Just enough blue trim,
Yeah.
but there's something about the orange that it's just bold enough, but they just nail it. I don't know what it is. I just like it. Every time I see it, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Netherlands a lot higher. Personally, that there's something about an orange kit that, as you said, it's an out there color, but it just works. So yeah, orange with that sort of stark navy, I think is very, very, very crisp from them. Another. The only thing that's attracting me, and I couldn't get over it when they released this kit, but those fucking reversible bucket hats. Like, what are we doing?
It's a fucking World Cup.
I'm sorry.
It's a fucking Cricket World Cup. You get your straightforward brim at snapback at a stretch, but like you put your bucket hats in the ocean and you don't take them with you. Leave them in the Netherlands.
This is just one I want it to work for me, but I just don't like it. I just do not like it. It's just I just don't know if orange works for me. It's a great fruit burst, but I think that's where I am with orange. Not for me on the cricket kit. And as you say, Jack, I mean, even if you had it top 5, it goes straight to 10 because they're modelling them in those bucket hats. It's a bottom couple for me. It's too much. I don't like it.
Okay. My top 4, Pakistan, they seem to always nail the different shades of green. And they're not colors that should always work, but they seem to always nail it. And this one in particular, you've got obviously your dark green, and then it's just sort of, it's got like the star, which is obviously the Pakistani emblem, and it just sort of like gets lighter and lighter as you go out. It's certainly different, but I'm a big fan of Pakistan kits.
Yeah, a traditional heavy hitter with the kits. I think it's similar to South Africa, just a good colour they've been blessed with. And they do have that history of just offering enough with them, bringing that star in, and you know, they've always just had a little bit of something about them. I mean, the Freedies run in and some brilliant kits in the past. So, happy with them anywhere, sort of 4 to 2.
Yeah, what I have found at looking back at these kits is nostalgia actually plays a real role. I mean, I'm looking at this lime green Pakistan kit with Wasim Akram in it, and I'm loving it.
Yeah.
There's some tasty old strips out there. Yeah, I might have to get on Trade Me and have a nosy at see what we can get, because there's some nice kits. Unfortunately, I have to have it bottom 2. I mean, I can't endorse someone being sponsored by Pepsi, so that's unfortunately where I stand.
Okay.
It's just about morals.
He's going to be real waspy with who the show is sponsored by.
Okay, righto. The top 3. Unfortunately, haven't actually seen this country's World Cup kit because they've had the 2 games washed out. But I'm gonna, from what I've done a bit of digging, and I think their kit is going to be very, very similar to the one-day series against Australia. And they've got 2 things going for them. India have magnificent colours. They've got the dark blue, the orange trim, and the white trim. And now that they've added Adidas to the table, like we've discussed at length how the 3 stripes do not work in Test cricket. Well, they absolutely work in coloured clothing. And they've had some great one-day kits. Australia in the early 2000s. England's had some good 3-stripe action. Give me India at your 3.
Yeah, the only thing that sort of held me back was the stark white stripes on the shoulders.
Not a fan.
Looked very like your JD Sports polo pickup, but if they could get those stripes orange, or in an Indian colour, I'd be, I think the colour of them is what's putting me off, not the actual look itself. So, that looks very crisp, but it could be crisper.
Yeah, another thing India has now got going for it is some very scucks players that make this kit look exceptional. So a big factor for them. Another India, I tell you what, another trip down Nostalgia Avenue with some of their lighter kits. That light blue one, you got Dravid running that and Tendulkar. That they've got some fantastic old kits.
Like I never liked
Yeah,
that
I
kit,
like,
eh?
I like,
I never liked that kit.
yeah.
I
I don't
always
know
thought
if
that
I don't
their
know if I
kits
did
got
at the
better once
time.
they went to dark blue.
Hmm. There's a good chance I would have hated it at the time, but
Yeah.
looking back now, I rate
Yeah.
it.
They've
Yeah.
Um,
also got
I,
way scuxer in general since going to dark blue as a playing
yeah,
group with the IPL
yeah.
money that's sort of coming in too, which is
Yeah.
probably helping and skewing things a bit.
Yeah.
They're actually a team that have used the flag quite nicely in the past, and maybe I would have sort of liked to see them do that again. But yeah, it's a nice kit. It's a crispy kit.
My top two, very, very close to going one. But unfortunately it doesn't have the nostalgia which obviously bumps the kits up in rankings. But this is a very, very crisp kit from Afghanistan. I'm just massive on it. I love what they're doing with the sort of like a black sort of vest thing, but there's sort of like the trim or the blue and the red is just sort of fading in. And then with the blue arms and then the red sort of wristbands, I guess you call them. I'm massive on this kit. Probably one of my favorite kits, or my second favorite even, of this World Cup. Where do you guys have the Afghans?
Yeah, and I mean, like that's just as Crom said, you can't be sorry for being a hypocrite because, great kit, welcome to the World Cup. Not enough nostalgia in it, not enough throwbacks after you haven't actually been to any World Cups really and played much cricket. But yeah, I mean, with what they've got, they've done exceptional. I think the vest look is clean. I think when you've got that sort of something different and the red sleeves are popular, I think they've got it right and great way to announce themselves on the biggest stage.
Yeah, what I like about Afghanistan is a lot of them do go the long sleeve option, which really makes it look pretty tasty to me. Yeah, I would say this is sort of the opposite to England. Is it's quite busy in a good way. It's sort of got a
Mm.
bit going on, but it all sort of works together nicely. And I think if you're not going to win the World Cup, you might as well try and have the best kit. And so they've made a real crack at that.
100%. Okay, my number one. Obviously, you've
It's a
probably figured
shocker.
it out by now. It is the Kiwis who have just been on an absolute tear with their kits, their World Cup kits, I should say. It's a throwback to the '96. It's mostly black. It's got pinstripe white from the chest down, and then some hoops around the middle. It's all time, and it's quite poetic that they've come up with this gem of a kit in a World Cup in India. Because if you go back to the last time they were in India and you're looking at one of the worst kits, not just for New Zealand wise, but ever wise from New Zealand, where it's like Canterbury have come a long, long way. Because when they started with the Cats, it was awful. Like the worst kits you could ever put out. I don't know how they ever made it to the bloody players sheds for starters, but some of the kits since then have been sensational. They've done themselves very proud. So, where do you guys have the Kiwis?
Yeah, I mean, 1-1. It's pretty simple. I think it's just the perfect example of, having a good base to work with, black and white or black and grey is very, very easy to get right. And then, adding that little touch of nostalgia, a wee bit of a design, good collar for popping when you're batting if you've got a bit about you. So yeah, nailed everything for me. The Kiwis.
I don't know if I'm huge on it.
Oh, okay.
I
We
mean, it's
see.
controversial. I genuinely don't know if I rate it yet. I've been going back. I'm just not sure the pinstripes work for me. I just
Okay.
don't know if I rate. I've seen it a couple of times and just gone, oh yeah, now we're talking. That's the kit. And then at other times I've gone, I'm not sure. I'm just not sure on this one. So I don't know. I love the grey trim on the sleeve. I love that. It's just the pinstripe I'm going back and forth on if I rate or am I rate. So yeah, I mean this is going to be all World Cup. I'd say this back and forth for me.
Okay. All right. Let us know in the comments what you think of our top 10, and if the Caps should deserve number one. Jacko, who are we brought to today? Who's sponsoring this lovely episode?
Yeah, I tease it, and I'll let you off the hook, Crom. It's not Pepsi, but they might have come on one too late. This week we've got Nip Strips, the original. Whether you're going out for your 5K this weekend or a backyard ultra and trying to do 176, Nip Strips have got your back, and even better, they've got your front. The original Nip Strips for tough runners and delicate nipples. Durable anti-chafing protection for the entire length of your run or workout. Silicone adhesive for easy, pain-free removal from sensitive, sweaty nips. Hopefully, they got out to you early, Crom, for the weekend, but great to have Nip Strips on board this week.
How were your nips over there, Lugsy?
Well, thankfully, mate, we had the sponsor on board. They were A-OK. Yeah, unbelievable. Got me a couple out on Friday. Got me a wee pack, so I was just rocking them. And just look at me now, just absolutely fine. So couldn't endorse them higher.
Some said you put some on today just to go back to work to stay with that comfy.
Oh, they're just a nice look as well, I think. I'm just.
Do you want to just explain to the listeners exactly what your run is, because we kind of glazed over it a bit that you just sort of ran 176 kilometers in one, or I guess one go. Do you want to sort of explain what your weekend was like there, Lugsy?
Yeah, I'll be very, very brief with it. Basically, it's a format. It's becoming very popular, actually. It is one run, but it's not non-stop. So we started at 9 a.m. Saturday, and you do 6.7K loop. You've basically got the hour to finish it. If you finish in 45 minutes, then you get 15 minutes to rest, and you've got to be back at the start line on the next hour, start of the hour. So, I did 26 laps. So I was out there till 11 o'clock. Sunday morning was my last lap, and ended up covering 174K. So it was a bit. It's actually made me quite sick. I'm not feeling the best actually, but it is becoming quite a popular sort of format of running.
Yeah. Funny, no sleep and the amount of Ks I've probably done this year has made you sick. Wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, I was feeling all right when I finished, genuinely finished, and I was like, right, let me get home, have a quick shower. I'm going to Emerson's for a burger and a pint, and got into Hayden's car, and just sort of everything hit me, and I just fell back, and I was gone.
Yeah.
Unbelievable effort, and he couldn't have done it without his nip slips.
Oh, that's good, right?
Nip strips, even.
Oh no. No, imagine the old nipple.
Imagine a product that made sure you had nip slips.
Oh no! Oh, producer Gab, leave that one in. Right, should we move on to some picks? Should we let's make some money for our listeners. Over the past few days, we've done some digging, and we want to get you guys some hot tips for the World Cup. So we're going to do it in a couple of different categories. One is going to be like who you think, irrespective of the odds, gun to the head, who's going to get win the award or I guess win. And then two, who we think is like good value for money, depending on the odds, or a wee dark horse, depending on the category. So with that being said, we'll start with yourself there, Jacko. Let me have your picks for the most runs, most wickets, and player of the tournament. Someone has a gun to your head, and you've got to get it right. So we don't care about value. Who are you taking?
Okay. I mean, one, I'm going to go most runs, and there's probably going to be a theme here. I'll go Shubman Gill. I can just see him scoring all the runs. To be fair, any of India's sort of top order you could have a real look at. Just roll the dice, pick one of them. But yeah, any of them for me. Most wickets I'm on and Aaron. But gun to the head, it is tough because you sort of think you need someone that's going to go deep. You do, and I think again I'll probably go back to India. and look at maybe a Jadeja or a Ashwan. But yeah, give me Jadeja because I think he'll play every game, and I think he'll just get a few through the middle. And then
Paying
pro the
17 is good
tournament.
value, actually, just quality.
It's not bad. I don't know if that's a gun to the head pick, but I haven't actually looked at any odds, so probably should have done that before doing this piece. But yeah, and then play the tournament. I think you could look at maybe Virat. I think home tournament, he's going to have a big one. India's going to go well. So, yeah, just give me Virat to be player of the tournament. Last World Cup at home, India winning it.
Not bad. Lugsy, where are you at with your
Yeah, I won't
your
go
locks?
long on the most runs. I'm taking Gill as well. I've said it, a couple of weeks now, and I think he's the obvious choice. I think not only will he score runs about the big side, but I can see him getting a big year against one of the minnows. So I won't spend too long on that one. Bowling, I think, is where it's a lot more open. There's some juicy odds on the bowling. Um, it's hard to. I want to just get behind some Kiwis. I think Trent Bolt's at good odds again. I think he's always good to go
15s.
get a couple of game. Yeah. I think maybe I think Zamps as a wee
Yeah, I
chance because I
don't
think he'll
mind
play a
Zamps at
lot.
all.
Yeah, I think he'll play a lot. And, so against some of the minnows, sometimes they just tend to hit out against try and spin to avoid facing some real pace. And, you get 4 or 5 against them. So maybe I'll just go fun. I'll go Zamps. Why not?
Yeah,
It's not going to help though when I
gun
pick
to your head.
Aussie.
I'll just
Yeah, maybe I'll change. Maybe gun to my head, then gun to my head, and we'll put in Zants for after. Maybe I'll go Trenty, gun to the head.
yeah,
I think he'll
that's
just
not
pick
bad.
up 2 a game. Player of the tournament. I don't want to be boring, so I'll just chuck it out first. I think Gill will probably score so many runs, he'll be player of the tournament. But if I was going to give another option outside of that, maybe someone like a Stoynes who's going to maybe bowl a bit and bat. I think if he gets a few devastating 50s and maybe leads Aussie home a couple of times and then chips in a lot with the ball, maybe he'll just have an all-round good tournament and get them home. So Stoynes for a bit of vow on that one. But I like Gill to score so many runs, it's sort of undeniable.
Yeah, I mean, I'll second that with Gill. He's my most runs and player of the tournament, and mainly that's because you think India's probably going to win it, which we'll get to. I've also got a wee look at Devon Conway for most runs at $17.
Yeah,
I think
I've got my list of Kiwis to watch, and he's on there for
yeah,
most runs.
I like that. Another Kiwi I want to watch is a wee look at Sodhi at most wickets at $26.
Yep. Yeah, I had my Kiwis to watch.
Yeah,
are we
but
giving it horses there, are we?
If my lock, or my last lock for the wickets would be Kuldeep Yadav. I think he's probably going to play every game. He took a lot of wickets in the Asia Cup. Yeah, I think he's probably going to be that. But if we're looking for a bit of fun action, Adil Rashid for England. Like if you think they're he's probably going to play every game. Probably going to make the final. I don't hate those odds. And my Rogus selection here, and I'm just looking at purely odds. Player of the tournament, Adam Zampa, $67. I think that could be worth $1.
Yeah, if he's could be worth 2. Could be worth 2. I tell you who's like another person to watch for sort of most wickets and a potential dark horse for player of the tournament would be Shaheen Afridi.
Yeah,
I think if he stays healthy and he is rearing for this tournament, I mean, he's going to take so many poles against the minnows. I mean, he could take 15 against Netherlands and Afghanistan combined. He's just so quick. He swings it. So yeah, he's someone to watch as most wickets as well.
Yeah, he was definitely on my list for most wickets. I'll just quickly share. I had for my player to watch with the runs, I actually had Daryl Mitchell at 41s. I think he was on Bet365. I mean, he could just consistently Yeah, he could get 40 or 50 most games for us and just end up with 500. So I'd put him there.
Don't hate it. Like that a lot. I like that a lot. Well, let's have a look at some team action. I know, like must have been a couple of pods ago. We picked some winners and some semi-finalists, but we're only a day removed from the tournament starting, so I think there's a chance that our views might have changed. I know mine has, so it's interested to see how you boys are feeling. We can talk odds in a second, but yeah, gun to your head, semi-finalists, finalists, and your overall winner. Has it changed? And where are we now?
Yeah, I mean, I've jumped off my boat and I'm in yours. I think India win this tournament. The Asia Cup did nothing to dampen their sort of hype train for me, and it's got them ahead of England. I think India just win it. They're the best side in world cricket currently, so I just think they clean up, especially at home. I've got them beating Pakistan in the final. So that's a rogue one, and I think England and I'll just say Aussie because I think Aussie figure out how to get there in the semis because Aussie had a similar feel to this pre the last T20 World Cup and went on to win it, or maybe 2 World Cups ago. So Aussie will right the ship, but yeah, I can see Pakistan really sort of clicking and going on a run here. And if we get India beating Pakistan in the final, watch out, India burns to the ground.
I had that as like a rogue pick of the finalists because that's that's $9 as opposed to England. India is obviously the favourite at $4.50. Yeah, don't mind that we are $9 punt. Lugsy, where do you sit?
I mean, I've got nothing apart from India winning, which I've got clearly at one. And I won't change from that. I just keep because there's no sort of analytical view to this, but I just think there's going to be something going on at this World Cup. I think being at India brings it a bit closer together than people might think. So I've got India one, and I've got. I'm not going to not have us here. So really, it's up to 2 spots. One of India and Aussie aren't getting in for mine.
You say England?
Part of me, I can't. There's something in me that can't put Aussie out, but I'm putting them out, so they're gone. I want to go
$3.75. Paying $3.75 to be knocked out group stage.
Aussie?
Who are?
Yep.
Aussie.
Yeah.
Reasonable value.
Yeah, there's a little bit in there.
I want sort of a Sri Lanka to sneak in, but it's just when you do the games, you're just like, are they going to really win enough? So I'm going to end up on the same thing. I'll go England, Pakistan, us, and India, with an India New Zealand final, and somehow we win that. But yeah, I would love to go rogue and chuck a Sri Lanka in, and if England and Aussie both miss out, that's my dark horse. I can see them both falling apart here.
Yeah, so my semi-finalists are very similar to Lugsy, almost identical actually. I can't go past India winning the whole thing. It's their time. If they don't win it this World Cup, I don't know when they win it. They're at home. They've got the best side. They've got everything in their favour. It's going to happen. It has to happen. But if there were 2 teams that I think could genuinely tip them up, have the firepower to match them, it's England because they've been there, they've done that, they're now an experienced side. I don't think they're as strong as that 2019 side that tied the World Cup final, but they're probably a lot more experienced now. So I'd be a little bit nervous if I'm playing them in a knockout game if I'm India. And the other side that could win it and they could finish 10th and I wouldn't be surprised, and that's Pakistan. I just think on their day, they've got firepower with the ball, firepower with the bat. Some of the best players in the world on bowling and batting. And my last semi-finalist, I've actually gone New Zealand ahead of Australia and South Africa, and by a long way. I just think this New Zealand side is just starting to peak at the right time. Kane's back. Tim Southey's back. It's such an experienced side. Kane looks so good with the bat. I know it's a warm-up game. I know it's a couple of warm-up games, but he looks good, man. If he's good and he's scoring runs, you add in Conway, Mitchell, they can get the runs. Bowling potentially might be an issue, but I compare this side to Australia. I've actually got them missing, which is paying $3.75. I like those odds, and I just don't rate South Africa. I think their batting is very good, 1 to 6. They've got Janssen at 7, who highest scores like 40. And they're missing Norkia. So that's my top 4. And my rogue pick to win the whole thing will be Pakistan. It's 750. So that's me. Boys, to finish the pod, I've sort of gone through some extracurricular betting agencies to find some of my favourite options that I want to throw at you guys. A bit more rapid fire, but if you've got some more, I'd love to hear it.
Are any of these just producer Gav taking side bets with you, or?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. I'll let you guess which one they are. Highest individual score, the over-under has been set at 175.5.
Yeah.
So you're taking the over or under on that one, boys?
I'm going to hit the over, I think there's going to be a 180 plus scored at this World Cup. As you said, England have firepower. Aussie have some serious players. India have power at the top. It feels like everyone's sort of quite top heavy. Wouldn't surprise me if Bubba snuck out like a 183 off, 160 rocks somewhere in there. Like, everyone sort of feels like they've got like a big dog at the top that could bat sort of through an innings. And if they do, then, 9 goes, it's batting through an innings to score 173.5 or whatever it is. Feels doable. A lot of bites at that cherry.
Yeah, I mean, this was going to be my one I actually circled. I think this is a big over. And if there's any way you can elevate it, give it a bit of a booster, my road sort of bet of the tournament, we will see a double century at this World Cup. So that's what I'm locking
$2 at the tab, that is, I think.
See a double century. I'd
Any
prefer those
player
odds
score
to be,
double hundred, $2.
Yeah, I'd rather that be a lot juicier.
I'd be surprised if there isn't a double 100. Like, I would have thought those odds would be higher, but I'd definitely throw a couple of dollars at that for sure.
Yeah, I need that at 250. Like, we're talking double centuries here. They don't just come about every day.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, next, moving on, a little bit less chance of this happening, perhaps. Will there be a tournament hat trick? The yes is paying $2.10, no $1.66. Boys, a hat trick in the 2023 World Cup.
I mean, I'll put this in the double 100 category of like, you've almost just got to punt yes, and you've got to punt the over.
It's fucking boring punting no way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Imagine 2 wickets happen and you've got $1,000 on no hat trick, and you're just sitting there hoping a hat trick doesn't happen. Like, you just cannot put yourself in that position ever. You can't be in a position to, hope a bloke holds out on 170 or hope that tailender survives the hat trick ball. So, two of the great things that happen in cricket are double hundreds and hat tricks. So get around them, get on board, and you'll be right there with us enjoying them when they do happen, and you'll enjoy them even more when there's a bit more extra money in your pocket.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you, Jacko. It's one of those things like total combined points. You bet the overs. You don't sit around watching defense. So yeah, same here. Bet a double 100, bet a hat trick, and I think there's enough. Like,
life's too short to bet under.
Yeah, exactly right. There's enough sort of steamy pacemen or handy spinners, which someone's gonna get trapped in front trying to defend a hat trick ball, aren't they? So we're gonna see one.
Okay. This one is again probably of the same ilk. I probably know where you're gonna get to. I can't imagine there being 5 sixes in and over and someone going, I really hope that this next ball doesn't go for 6. But 6 sixes in and over, odds a little bit different. The no is
Sure.
paying $1.02, and
Yeah.
yes is $13. So obviously, it's less likely. But gee, you'd have to punt a lot of money on no to make something, and then you're just going to be it's going to ruin your day if there's 5 sixes and you're betting against history being made.
Yeah. Be on the fun side of history, isn't it? You don't want to be that bloke of 6 sixes get hit, and it's like some guys lost $100,000 to win $275. Like, you've got to go. It's probably you're not putting much on it. You put a wee $2 on it just because it's something fun to have on for the
13's a nice wee number, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Something to keep you interested in all games, I think, is the beauty of these. Like, that 6 sixes could happen Netherlands versus Afghanistan, or it could happen England, India. Like, it just keeps you interested, perks you up in all the games. So, almost buying into games you wouldn't normally watch is what you're doing with these last 3, which is, you're just adding to your own enjoyment. Really.
Yeah, it's either bet yes or stay away, by the way, boys. Like, if there's any idiot out there thinking I'll just whack that in my multi just as a tiny booster, don't do it. That's just ludicrous. This is how the TAB gets you. So yeah, either bet on it or stay away.
Okay, last one, and I thought was worth a look. A little bit tongue in cheek, but I think it's worth a conversation. And Netherlands to win a match. So yes is $1.50, no $2.62. So that would mean they would go 0 for 10. Just for out of
0 for
to
9.
put in perspective. Oh, sorry, it'd be 0 for 9, I should say. Afghanistan lost all 9 games at the last World Cup, so it's not a given you win a game. And these are a lot of good sides. So I know Netherlands are a good side. And I know it's going to be ballsy to just say, they're going to lose every game. It's easy to say, they'll win one game, but it's actually quite hard. So, will they tip a side up?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's another enjoyment bet, isn't it? If you say yes to this, of them going winless, and they're playing an all-time humdinger against a big side, and you go, oh, fuck, I want them to lose. Like, you just got to get on the right side of history. Like, these things happen at World Cups. Hat-tricks happens. Minnows win games. I've got another tasty one I like the look of, which is, again, just giving yourself more things to look at and more things to be on the watch for to pique your interest in the World Cup. So, yeah, give me Netherlands at least to win one, because it'll be a hell of a game if they do. And they've shown they're playing some fucking good cricket at that opener, at that tournament to get in anyway. So, yeah, keep them in, keep them winning.
Yeah, I think what Jacko said's the important thing is someone always gets tipped up. One of the big nations always goes down. Yeah, well,
where Afghanistan went 0-9.
Yeah, well, there you go. The Netherlands beat them, didn't they? And then we're good to go. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's stay away probably, but if you're going to do it, get on the yes, and let's hope they don't just tip up like Afghanistan. Let's hope they tip up in England or something fun.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point, because a lot of our betting advice has been what's fun and less about what's going to make people money. Because I do think that no is worth a look at $2.62.
There's double your money stuff. They have very, very high chance of going winless.
Yeah, I think obviously
I love that.
It's just really, like, if this tournament was in the UK and because they've got a good seam attack, but I'm just not sure how many games of cricket they played in India. Because I think that Afghanistan and Bangladesh, like, I'd be surprised if they didn't win more than like 2 or 3 games each. Yeah, I mean, they're a tough side, two tough sides.
Your only slip up to 0 wins is probably the Afghanistan game, realistically. Unless someone has a genuine shocker, everyone will be too good in India for the Netherlands, I think.
But I do hope if they do win a game, it is a big nation. Like Afghanistan, it's just not going to give you the same feels.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other punts you guys had you you want to bring to the table?
Yeah, and I mean, look, this is just another, be on the right side, have a couple on it just to keep your interest. But I reckon any match to go to at Super Over paying $2.70 is worth a look. Worth a real look, actually.
It's
We've
not
got
bad.
what,
Could
10
be
teams
higher.
playing 9 games. Yeah, could be higher, but I think you could get something there at 270 with a wee bit on.
That's basically saying that Netherlands are more likely to lose every game than there be a Super Over.
Yeah,
That's
something.
100%.
Something.
The only one I'll give you.
Oh no! What did you pick? What do you think? Do you think there'll be a Super Over, Lugsy?
Oh yeah, I think there'll be Super Over. Oh, sorry, Lugsy, yeah.
Yeah, why not? Super. I mean, I don't really want to talk Super Over and World Cups, but sure. Why don't we?
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll say yes as well.
Yeah.
I'll say yes as well. Lugsy, what did you have?
And, I mean, I'll probably. Oh, sorry, you
say-
go, Lugsy.
Yeah, just my last sort of rogue punt. And you may have to go to a bookie to get odds on this one. England, Aussie both to miss out on the semis.
That's massive. Well, Australia paying $3.75 to miss out themselves.
Yeah.
There is one here. No, it must be on Bet365. Yeah, on Bet365, there's options to all the teams to miss out. I'll be very interested in the England one.
Oh yeah, I'll have a nosy at them, and as I say, if you can't track it down on Bet365, just hit up your local bookie, or maybe even slide into my DMs, and if you've got some odds for me, I'll take them.
Yeah.
Anything else there, lads?
A couple of money where the mouth is bets for the pod, just in general, which the TAB have got, which you could ride with the boys. India to beat England in the final, paying 7s, worth a look. India to win the tournament, Shubman Gill top run scorer at 17s. Nice wee future to have on.
I'm off to the tab now.
Yeah.
What was that bet? Sorry, what was that bet?
India to win the World Cup and Shubman Gill to be the top tournament run scorer, paying 17s.
Oh,
yeah, give me a look at that. That's a good bet. That's a good bet. I like that.
That's a real splash out and put $10 on it sort of thing, and treat yourself to a weekend night out.
We'll have to get that. We'll have to get to the tab now before this pod goes out and everyone gets on it and the odds bloody come down.
England to miss out. England to miss out at the group stage, $4. Just FYI. So
yeah,
it's not bad.
Sweet.
And then I mean, there's some lovely New Zealand stuff. I think Conway to score New Zealand's first 100, paying $2.75, worth a wee look too as well.
Yeah, that will happen tomorrow.
Yeah. So
it's a very, very easy way to burn for a few hundred this tournament.
Yeah.
100%.
Or if you Munter, $15, a few $1 punts.
Yeah.
Just
100%.
always remember, you got to chase your losses.
All $3 of them.
You don't want to die wondering.
Let's sign off because that is us for another week. We hope you enjoyed this wee betting preview of the World Cup. If you did enjoy the show, chuck us a like and subscribe. Even a rating and review wouldn't go astray. Please do spread the word of the show. Just an update on our World Cup schedule. Hoping to do 3 mini podcasts a week, generally after the bigger games if we can. 2 are going to be on the main feed. So the one you're listening on now, and the 3rd is going to be on our Patreon feeds, starting with a reaction pod on the England-New Zealand game tomorrow night, which will no doubt be a resounding Kiwi win. I'm very confident on that. So check out patreon.com/maximumcricket for more details. You can also get all 3 of those episodes by subscribing to our YouTube, which is obviously free. And we are sort of spitballing a wee segment around like worst take from anyone, from us, from punters, just around teams winning or And I'm already sort of zeroing in on Simon Dill picking South Africa to win the whole thing. So that's one that I'm having a look at early on. So if you
Really
do
flip the
see a really
script, don't
bad
you,
take
after that
from
Crawley
us,
Ashes series.
yeah, that's a really good example.
Yeah,
Yeah, really
that's in
good
the past.
example.
So been and gone.
Been and gone. So with that, thank you to Lugsy and Jacko, of course, and we'll see you all after the Kiwis get up over England. Catches.
That's massive. Let's go. Latest.